Good evening, ladies
Your
and
dog
gentlemen.
barked. Your dog barked along to the song.
I know, right? He's
Yeah.
downstairs. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the show. Grandma should be joining us, but if not, then it'll just be me and Tanner going over this book, which was his pick. So, right off the bat, bro, why'd you pick this one?
Mhm. A couple of reasons. I know you guys were big Saberhagen fans. I consider this to
Uh,
be a really underrated slice of Appendix N, and
uh,
I thought it'd be worth really discussing for an hour or two.
okay, well, without Grandma,
That
uh,
and then the next couple of weeks we're probably going to be doing the Blue Star, and I kind of before we even read that, I kind of owe it to you guys to make up for it. Although I have been enjoying my read so far of it, so.
I don't know that this would qualify as making up for it, and I kind of want to do something different besides Saberhagen next week because there's a book I've been wanting to read, but we'll get with that after that. So, what would you like about this story the most?
Um, well, why don't you start with why you didn't care for it as much?
It just it started off really slow, and I just found it really hard to connect with any of the characters. It seemed to kind of bounce around between characters for a while. You know, it starts off with the bad guy, of course, doing bad stuff, and it just really wasn't as much action as I'm fond of right off the bat. I kept getting certain characters confused, things like that. It's really sad too because the intro is by my favorite Rogers Lasney, and
Hmm.
a good portion of the time I was like uh, hearkening back to that, going, "Yeah, I really do want to read." I think it's the Frankenstein Files or Sherlock Holmes Frankenstein something or other. That one sounded
Dracula as
interesting.
well.
Yeah. And it just I just had a hard time like latching on to any one character. The main character I think is Rolf, right?
That is correct. Yes, he is. As we're going to get to soon enough, he is. He becomes the chosen of Ardna later on.
And at first I thought he was an old man, or like an older guy, not like a kid. Was that did I miss
Ah,
something there?
so the beginning scene is the actual old one getting tortured to death. He says,
Right.
Ekuman, hear me. I am Ardna. I will be your death. And then this kid who just lost everything eventually takes that role and does become Ekuman's death,
hmm
thanks to a fire extinguisher, which we'll get to in just a little bit.
I know. I was like, that can't be. It is. Oh my god. So what was Rolf your favorite character?
Um, Besides the villain,
Yeah. If that was your was he your
yeah,
favorite
Ekuman is
character?
a. I actually have to give a little credit to Rolf because you know, he does really go through the ringer in this one.
Yeah. I kind of
Um,
like the bad guy as
he
well.
also. Mhm.
Good. He also what?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. I thought you weren't finished with your thought.
Um,
Oh,
I just said I'm good.
oh, okay. I also liked that one wizardly character in the beginning.
I think there's a delay in the stream a little bit.
There could be, for those of you who don't know, there's a brush fire not too far from where I live, and it's really close, but it doesn't look really bad, but it doesn't take much, so that could be interfering. Otherwise, I'm just having a bad internet day. My other favorite character was
I
the
would say that this is definitely a novel that I consider at least to be a bit stronger than some of its parts because this is a very by the numbers.
I didn't hear what you said after by the numbers. Tanner, are you there?
Very awkward.
Okay,
Well, I'm sorry,
I
the
thought.
connection's lost. Yeah, I keep trying to hop on a different module real quick.
Okay,
I'll be right back. Sorry.
yeah. Okay, okay, no worries. Yeah, sometimes Tanner has issues, kind of like Omen used to all the time. But his issues are a little different, where I can't hear him at all. Omen would be like kicked off, and then he'd have to get back on, kicked off, get back on. Um, but yeah, I'm spoiled, guys. I have read so many fantasy novels and so many other novels, as well as a crap ton of comic books, and I've been going through a lot of comic books lately, so I'm kind of spoiled in getting certain things spoon fed to me, plus the level of excitement that I'm used to, or I gravitate toward, is pretty high. Reading things like Savage Sword of Conan lately, and some other comic books and some other stories. This one is kind of a slow burn at first, so for me, it wasn't. Yeah, it just didn't do it for me. I also had some issues earlier today with getting distracted, so it took the audiobook is like 6 hours, but I'm certain I spent the better part of nine listening to it, falling asleep, rewinding, listening to it, getting distracted, things of that nature with the fire. And so maybe if I read the book, it'll hit me harder. That's something I do want to try to do more, is actually read and less audiobooks. Uh, I know people are too busy to read a book and blah blah blah, but the ones that I've been reading, I've been enjoying a lot more, and that's really what this is. It's supposed to be a book club, not an audiobook club. You know, and I think we've all gotten spoiled over the last year or so doing everything by audiobook. And call me old fashioned, but I really do enjoy just doing nothing but focusing on the story with no distractions, no music, and just me and the book. See you back there, Tanner? Nope. Okay. I'm gonna go check real quick, folks, and see if Grandma is back there. I'm pretty certain she said she was going to read the book.
I'm back.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, there's something downloading on my machine right now, which might be slowing down the file. So I've sent I'm trying to log
Uh,
on the other machine. So if this keeps up, I'll just use that.
okay. Yeah, the fan's on, Travis. Just hey, what's up, George? So one of my other favorite characters, or at least one of the characters I really did enjoy, especially at first, later on, he started getting confused. What was the name of the magic user with the bag full of charms at the beginning? Murik or
Oh,
something like
Muick.
that?
Muick.
Buick. Yeah, that's another thing. His name was really like weird, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, from his
Um,
description, he's got a bit of a darker skin tone. He's got that odd verbal tick. I assume the guy's like meant to be Romani, but with all the A's,
could be,
I got a chuckle that it might be from like what's left of Newfoundland.
could be. I was this supposed to be Earth or something like that? I didn't
Yes.
catch that
So,
either.
um, I was thinking we were gonna ease into this for those who've not read this before, but it's not really a spoiler because they present
Can't hear you, buddy.
That's because the connection was lost. You're gonna need to let in the laptop there, and I'll hop on in on that.
Who, me?
Yeah, yeah. I just
There's
hopped
literally nothing I
on
can
the
do.
other machine here. Uh,
Okay. You were saying about a spoiler about Earth?
yes. So it's presented in such a way as that you can kind of correctly guess it from like may not work out tonight.
It's not. I can see your icon moving. I can see your icon moving, but there is no audio.
Hmm.
Occasionally, we get a little staticky.
In that case, I'm gonna log off on this one, and I'll try this one over here. Wish me luck.
Okay. How many computers does this guy have? I've got my laptop and my tablet, and that's it. If one don't work, I got to use the other. And I haven't had to use my tablet in a couple of years. I think there was one instance I went on DM James's show with my tablet, just because I was moving around and doing stuff, and I didn't want to sit in one spot, and do that. I was just popping in to say hi. Um, but hopefully he'll be able to pop back in. If not, I will unfortunately just shut the show down because I'm not going to talk about the book all by myself. Just I do that all the time with the things I'm reviewing, and usually when I review something, I'm already pretty excited to do so. Not always. Sometimes I've given a couple of reviews of things I did not like at all. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I did when I was cleaning out the garage. I found a laptop, my backup laptop. This is like the emergency. It's so old that it actually has a uh, Gravaminion paint. I haven't painted anything since April, but I will be painting and more gluing than painting soon because I got some stuff in the mail, and I know I just won't be able to resist. But I've got this laptop I found that actually has a where you can put a CD in it. They don't do that anymore. I don't know why. I think that's kind of awful that you can't do that. That was like a kind of a great thing about old laptops. But no, I haven't seen one like that. Got to be like 10 years now. Yeah. Although I am running out of room, George, to put new minis together. I've got about 50 on my table, and a good portion of them are painted, but I've got nowhere to put them. Literally no shelf space. I mean, I could build something in the bathroom, I suppose, and I don't have any more storage cases. I got to find some sort of solution to pack up miniatures for when they're not in use. And I used to get these really good ones for $2.99 at the 99-cent store, but when they went out of business, I don't know where to get them, and I've got, I kid you not, about 20 of these cases in here and in the garage, and they're really nice. They're only about this big, with about 20 cubicles that can hold 2 to 4 miniatures, depending on the size. No, Travis, I haven't checked those out yet. I did a while ago, and I liked what I saw, but then I got hooked on comic book omnibuses, and I'm looking at a very, very cool one. Uh, the Chronicles of Conan by Robert E. Howard. All the books that I have on Conan are the Lynn Carter Sprague de Camp paperbacks, and a lot of those aren't accurate. And the one that I saw has everything listed in the order it was written. as opposed to the yes, yes. Speaking of which, though, George, there's this new store. It looks like a chain that's going up right in our old 99-cent store location. It's like I forget what it's called, but it's like dollar something, but it's not Dollar Tree or Dollar General, and we've got a ton of those. But it looks to be kind of like the 99-cent store rebranded, which I hope it is because now the 99-cent store had actually a crap ton of stuff that was far superior to the Dollar Tree, Dollar General chain of stores. And when the holidays came around, they had such good stuff, which is funny because our Dollar Tree and our Dollar General had Christmas and Halloween stuff in July. So the literally the Christmas in July kind of meme that's out there was a real thing in our Dollar Generals and our Dollar Trees. Not a lot of stuff, but they were clearing out the graduation stuff for that, and just like as well as they did have an aisle of Thanksgiving decorations. I don't know about you guys, but we don't really decorate for Thanksgiving. We just clear the table and fill it full of food, and nobody's looking at the walls and everything else. They're just looking at the table, right? What's the spread? There he is, um,
All right,
Tanner.
I'll try one more
Talk to me.
time. Am I coming out clear? All right.
Fairly.
Um, if I start breaking up again, just say so, and I'll make this up to you another time.
Yeah, that's what I was telling everybody. So, spoiler about the world. Let's
Mhm.
let's hear about that.
So this is a post-apocalyptic setting. This is a Gamma World
Okay.
D&D hybrid. They go into
Okay.
detail in the next two books in the trilogy on how the world got to this state, but the long and short of it is that what we know as magic has sort of become the thinking man's art. Technology is actually viewed how magic is viewed nowadays as like this like lost arcane art. Um, every now and again, you'll find like a rich satrap or noble who has got like an old world relic, and they can always tell because the makeshift work is much smoother than like modern craft. And we see a few pieces of technology in this: a pair of binoculars, a pair of fire extinguishers, and of course, the
Hmm.
elephant.
Right. Which was what actually?
It was a nuclear
What do you
tank.
think it was?
Oh, straight up, it was a
Okay.
tank. Like, there's several. I mean, they're cool covers, but it's kind of annoying because it spoils what the nature of the world is,
Take
kind of
care,
like what we just
Travis.
did.
I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I didn't get at first when in the very first couple of chapters when they talk about it, I thought it was literally an elephant.
yeah.
You know what
Like
I
the way
mean?
they talk about it's like this
Because
big battle spirit, right?
no, like in the very beginning, the fact that they called it like oliphant
Hmm.
instead of elephant, I thought they were just trying to just let you know that it was just an elephant.
Hmm.
But for whatever reason they called it or pronounced it a little differently. But then as they're describing it, I'm like, yeah, this
Yeah,
doesn't
and I noticed in the
really
audiobook.
sound like.
There we go. That's what the cover of my book is. So it kind of gives away what the trunk is like.
So like the cannon or something, the main gun.
Yeah. So when it shoots, tosses lightning and throws fire, it's the onboard flamethrower.
Mm-hmm.
The way it's described, of course, though, is like
Because I
again, this is like very deliberate where he'll not call it a pair of binoculars or a fire extinguisher. He'll describe what it does, and you kind of have to put together as you're reading, oh, it's this thing.
or like
Yeah.
with the extinguisher, he described how it looked, and as soon as he started describing, I'm like, a freaking fire extinguisher,
Yes.
really? And then some of the pieces started falling into place,
That's
but
also why I
I
wanted you to play that one battle theme from the Metal Max games from Japan because that's nuclear post nuclear fiction with tanks. So this would be post nuclear fiction with a tank.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very leery about playing any music at all. I got in trouble for playing less than 30 seconds of the James Bond
Ooh,
theme song, and a couple other times. And uh, like with the Hungar's old show, he would play whatever he wanted, and they would like stop the stream because he was doing it, and then start it back up. And I don't have the mental patience to deal with
you have
that.
my deep, deep empathy. Thankfully, the one song I wouldn't mind you playing in place of your theme for the next Harold Chase story down the line, that one I'm pretty sure is public domain, so you shouldn't have to worry about that one. Shouldn't.
With that, and I own this
Hmm.
music, so I'm kind of partial
That
to it.
part I knew.
Our friend Rick from 28 millimeter RPG wrote it for us based on another song, and I thought he knocked it out of the park. Maybe even some parts of it are better than the original. The original was by Blue Oyster Cult, so for me that makes my day.
Mhm.
I think Travis actually gave me a hard time about the music once, but I'm like, hey, you know what? It's mine, so I can't, ever have that taken away from me. So,
Of course.
did you send me another private message?
I don't think so. No.
Oh yeah, I just didn't see it. It said, just said you try again. So, how about a least favorite character?
Um, just because. I have to approach this a little carefully here. Just because of, I think she should have been a bit more ecumenical to certain whys and what fors.
Hmm.
Actually, you know what?
Hmm.
I don't actually hate anyone in this cast, thankfully. I'm
Hmm.
actually trying to rack my brain a little bit on someone who I thought was unbearable. Um, I mean, Charmian's supposed to be a complete rat bastard bitch, and she's horrible and wonderful every time she's on
Hmm.
screen.
Right. Yeah, I kind of felt that way about the bad guy. I love to hate him, hate to love him.
Mhm.
He was, especially like the harem scenes and things like that. I'm like, okay, he's got his priorities. Uh, I thought that was fun.
And him kind of kicking himself for giving one of these harem girls a daughter who turned out to be as Machiavellian as he is. So he's like marrying her off to make sure that she can cause trouble elsewhere.
Yep, yep. I thought that was funny. Uh,
Yeah. And I also love the line. I have to give this book this. There's a lot of really nice subtle humor in this. Ekumen paused a moment to indicate his displeasure with his magicians.
yeah, which was yeah. He was I'm not going to put him up there with the like top 20 bad guys of all time because I can list too many for that to be valid. But he was well written, and I'm still not exactly certain how he died or if he died with the end with the
Ekumen?
olive. I suspect he's going to be back because why
Yes, he
wouldn't
tried
you?
to hijack it. There is a way of contacting the dead in this series, but for now he is currently dead. As the elephant was trailing through the village, Rolf stuck the other fire extinguisher in and suffocated him with all the foam.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought, but it was kind of vague at the end. You know what I mean? Or maybe I just missed a
I
sentence
will.
somewhere.
That may have been it. I will say, though, I enjoy this one. There are parts that can be a bit slower than they should be.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and like I said, with some of the
that said,
characters. Go ahead.
the stuff that does work, I think, works very, very well in this.
Sure, sure. He does have his moments, but there were so many characters that I kept. Maybe it was the names, because sometimes I have problems with that if the names are super hard to pronounce or they're super similar to other names. I find myself trying to, spend more time trying to figure out which one is which and having to go back and things like that, like Buick and some of the other people that had like M or L starting names. I was like, just like,
Anka
which
and
one is it?
Lohar.
Yeah, and some of the other people in like the resistance, if you will, like
The Free
the
Folk.
yeah. And that was another thing. I wasn't sure if the free folk were the people or their ally, those the animal allies.
Oh, the birds. The birds are a race of intelligent mutant birds they've teamed up with, but the Free
Hmm.
Folk are all human.
Okay,
Kind of like how the Empire has sort of banded together with those flying reptiles.
right, right, which was kind of weird that they both had bird folk instead of something else. I would do literally do the opposite if I was writing. Give one group, like dogs or cats or horses, and then the other people the air advantage. But when you have the air advantage, you have durability issues. You're not as strong or as hardy, as the things that don't have to be light.
Part of it is that they rather violently fight over egg space. The other is that one of them is a nocturnal creature like a human being or you or I, and the birds are nocturnal.
Mhm.
So they'll stalk each other's nests during the night or day.
Yeah, which made me think of them as mutated owls.
Oh, they are.
Okay, I'm glad I got
It's
that
why
right.
they speak with that whooing noise in the audiobook.
Right,
Whoo!
right. Um, so what would you steal from this to put in an RPG?
Quite a bit, actually, which is probably why I might have a bit more of a shine for it.
Okay,
If we were to do a AD&D Gamma World hybrid, like it teaches you how to do in the Dungeon Master's Guide,
right.
this would be pretty close. This and Wizards, which I'll get to in just a sec, would be pretty close to how I do it. So, you've got fighting men, you've got monks. I'm pretty sure with Muix kicks, you could probably stat him up as a monk pretty easy. You've got wizards, a few
I thought that's
psychics.
what he was
Mhm.
until later. Which I that's why I liked him because first he tells he throws I think it was Rolf's knife away, but then has one of his own. It's like, oh no, no, killing's bad. You don't need that. And then he goes and proceeds to kick the crap out of everybody. Um,
I'm pretty sure part of it is, this kid's just been through a lot. For those, act- yeah, he's been through a lot. I'll get to that in just a sec. Sorry, I don't formulate my thoughts very well. So he's like, "Hey, listen, kid. I don't want to see you become this like vengeful guy. I don't want to see you hurt yourself here." Sees that Rolf, is not going to be dissuaded from that. He's like, "Okay, here, we'll bring into the resistance, but we're going to teach you how to kill properly, so you don't slice one of our heads off."
right? Everywhere he went, people were trying to turn him away from that until I think it was chapter 8, when I think the bad guys, when he was locked up or something like that, were trying to teach him to
Hmm.
fight in the arena. And I got to tell you, one of my favorite moments was right at the end of chapter 8, where the lieutenant or sergeant or whatever is teaching him to fight, and then they cut it off, and I didn't have to hear any more about him learning how to fight. I'm like, oh, thank God, I don't have to go through another fight montage or a step by step. This guy who's probably never lifted a sword in his life, that being Saberhagen, or actually been in a fight, is going to teach me through this story how to fight. That annoys me to no end. It's like, uh, just no,
Well, I
just
mean, he grew up in
montage
the
it.
20th century. He was probably in a fist fight at some point. I mean,
You know what I mean,
I mean,
but not in like a
you
life or
lived through
death.
most of it, right?
Yeah, yeah, most of it. Thanks. Um, but yeah, I'm just burnt on that.
Hey, I didn't
There are
mean it
very
like
few
that. I
people
didn't
who.
mean it like that.
It's okay. I mean, I did see 40% of it.
Mm.
That's not quite half, so you round
It's like people
down.
always think
But
I like see people as like
no, no, no. I just hear it a lot. The old jokes when, in fact, there are a number of our regulars who are, in fact, older than me, but there are also some regulars
Hmm.
that while they're younger, they look older. So I'll take the good with the bad.
Hmm.
And I've
I
never
get
read
you.
The Wheel of Time. Uh, Maybe someday, but I haven't. I've literally got to hear.
Understanding my tastes are a bit suspect.
No, no, no.
Understanding my tastes are a bit
You have.
suspect. I tried to read The Wheel of Time. It's not that great.
I see. With me,
Like,
I need to hear not that it's good, but why it's good. And there were things like The Wheel of Time and a couple other novels that are kind of like on the tip of my tongue. But I
to the
tell me
Wheel of
why.
Time's credit, its detail and like world building in like how the magic system works, that's all great. So if you like your high detail there, you're gonna like it a lot. However, the text is very, very bulky. Like, it is a slow, slow read, and if you're bored by that, like I was, you are not gonna get through that thing.
Yeah, I had a hard time with the last one as well because of that. I made it through. I keep my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it with a few exceptions, obviously. Blasphemy, Tanner. Um, but
Yeah, I think that's blasphemy,
so give me.
Rooster. Wait till I get roasting Sword of Truth.
I don't even know who wrote that one. It doesn't. Nothing comes to mind. Um, so give me a
Sword of
couple
Truth.
examples of things you. So, go ahead. Yeah.
I what?
Tell me about what's up. Tell me what's up with the Sword of Truth.
That one is a blatant ripoff of the Wheel of Time,
Oh,
which devolves into objectivist navel gazing before kinda getting its head back out of its butt.
okay. And back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Give me a couple of examples of things you would swipe. Can you?
Oh, right. Thank you. Yes. So, how you would integrate like Gamma World, figuring out technology in a fantasy setting like this. This
Mhm.
shows a very good example of how to do it. Even if they don't know exactly how the light reflects, they can still figure out how a pair of binoculars works.
Mhm.
Um, I would definitely swipe how they do elementals in this because he went hog wild with great elemental design and operations. Um, like they're not the fire, water, earth, wind elementals that you're familiar with, but like you get this bog creature that like turns around and tries to chase them for a bit. You get a
Swamp Thing.
desert elemental. You have to wake up in the day. I would definitely bring in familiars that aren't quite what they look like. That like that wonderful, awful toad.
Yes, he was fun.
Uh,
Playing pranks
honest,
with the corpse, which was
yes,
I got to admit it was kind of a unique way of saying he was playing with the dead bodies, and animating them or doing whatever. I can't even. You
yeah.
had to
My
leave it.
envisionment is that this little frog, like, yeah, my envisionment is this little frog like takes the arms. I'm Iron, I'm gonna get you.
Right. You had to literally leave it up to your imagination, but with a few choice words,
Yeah,
he did impart. It's whatever you want, but it's awful. Right.
yeah. It's like you can. That's really
Morbid.
the strength and weakness of this novel. If you like to infer stuff while you're reading, then this is perfect for you. Otherwise, if you need a bit more, this is what this is. This is its heightened dimensions. You're gonna want to throttle it.
Yeah, I was thinking
Maybe not that far, but
when you're talking about how he did magic, I'm always inclined when it comes to like a story that has any kind of technology beyond a certain point to to assume that it might just be like psychic abilities. Maybe that's a role playing thing, because most sci-fi games literally don't have magic. It's psychic abilities that people just thought was magic, but at the same time, can't you have both? For me, I prefer to, if I'm gonna, use my imagination and incorporate, different sciences or disciplines like the martial arts and psionics and magic and high tech. Why can't you have them all? I mean, we kind of wish we had them all here, or at least some people think we have them all here. Um,
or both.
well, maybe we do. There are people who think, "Hey, what's up, off grid?" Who think they're practicing, magic, which show me, prove it. Same thing with psychic abilities. I've seen some weird shit in life, but I can't, 100% say this was psionics, this was magic, this was, something else. You know,
And something that's great about this era of science fantasy and the gaming that it spawned is that you are able to have, you know, swordsmen and sorcerers and rakes and clerics
mhm.
and bards and rangers and all that. And then the dungeon you're delving in, it becomes clear and clear to the players each level that they're raiding a little military base.
Right, which is this book did remind me a lot of the horse clans, and I wonder which came first. Have you ever read those?
I'm gonna double. I've I've started the first one of the Horse Clan, yes,
Okay,
and I can definitely see some overlap. I'm gonna double check right now for you. Which ones came
uh,
first? Uh,
because in,
what
in,
I'm
in it, go ahead.
Ralph Bakshi absolutely read this novel when
I can see that.
he was making Wizards.
That sounds like this one's older than the horse clans, but I could be wrong.
I think so too. Yeah. Um,
Was it
like
Robert Adams who wrote them?
Wizards. That's also Robert Adams. I think so. Yeah. Here we go.
For those of you interested,
Life
they're very interesting
Studio
books.
is wonderful, but it definitely eats into my band. Come on. There we go. Horse Clan was 1975, and this was 1968, I think.
Oh, okay. So I'm older than this novel by 1 year. Okay. Yeah, I do
Nice.
get, or I do enjoy when there is that sort of psychic link with man and animal. The Beastmaster, of course, and both of these novels we were just talking about. Uh, I like this guy right here. I wish he and I could have a conversation in English, but alas, it's just not within either of our brain power yet. He does understand quite a bit, but sometimes he gives me that sad look, and I'm like, what? I don't know what you want. You know, point at something. Show me. You want out? You want to pee? You want food? Well, he always wants food. Um, but the notion that you could
Yeah, we're definitely
communicate on.
maybe I'll definitely keep this in mind if I ever run a game for you. To have a Horse Clan or Pern element.
I actually have there's only one instance of the horse clans in games. And that was a GURPS supplement, and they did their homework, but mm, okay, George, yeah.
It hit and miss with how it approaches certain properties. Like,
Well,
if you ever want to see them do a hatchet job, look up nuclear horror,
okay, yeah. I've got
atomic horror.
two.
Sorry.
I have two GURPS books. One I paid for, that was Horse Clans. I think I actually bought Star Demon as well, and there's no real demon.
Mm.
It's barely in space. It's like what? I don't know. But
Let's see here.
I'm
Oh,
not a
right.
big
So
fan of.
you've seen the movie Wizards, right?
Many times. Midnight at the Movies. God, probably at least
Um,
10, 15
yeah,
times.
I'm almost certain I've seen it like 100, and I'm pretty sure Bakshi read this book back in the day because, like, you have the primitives against this oncoming force from the east because they're both from the east. And there's that scene with the tank, which I'm almost certain is a wink nod to Ardna. Almost certain.
A week nod to what?
The tank, the spirit in the tank, Ardna.
Oh,
When the in Wizards, when they're on the beach and they get
oh,
attacked by the tank, the rotoscope tank,
right, right, right.
that
Because
might be
I
a
thought you were
reference.
referring to
I'm almost certain that those.
because that wasn't that the name of the god in the beginning.
Yes, we're gonna learn how he inhabits the elephant and his connection to its rider, but or should I just spill the beans now?
You just spill the beans now in case it's a while
Okay,
before we get to because
so
that might inspire other folks to go out and
okay,
read this book
so
and series. If they,
Used to be a Arna used to be a supercomputer before the bombs dropped. And when the bombs dropped, it altered the nature of the world a little bit. So science became magic and magic became science. The reason demons are so nasty is because they used to be nuclear bombs.
okay,
That's why they've got that nastier side. So a bunch of supercomputers, including Ardna, are effectively this world's deities now.
mhm.
We actually There's actually a prequel series to this called the Swords Saga, which you might actually enjoy a bit
I
more.
think I've read a
Um,
bunch of those.
Yep,
Uh,
that is set in the same world as this,
hmm.
and
I
we
thought
actually get to see Ardna. Maybe not in person, but like he's one of the characters sees like the Greek gods kind of arguing with him, and he sees like this massive biomechanical tank creature who is kind of speaking in favor of him.
was that the Book of Swords, or am I thinking of someone else? Tanner, do you know?
That is the Book of
And we
Swords.
said,
Yes,
oh, okay. I read that a long, long time.
is
Oh my
the
god, I
book.
was still a
Yes,
teenager when I read that. Okay, and I was about to say something earlier, and I like it slipped my mind, but it came back. Lucky me. And the more I think about it, back in at a certain point, like say the '60s and '70s, there was so much less in the way of this kind of fantasy and fiction, sci-fi mixes, genres, that sort of thing. The further back you go, the less there is, obviously, but they really didn't have as much to go on as we do now. So when you were talking about Wizards,
mhm.
the movie, how it was inspired by the book, I totally see how
I think it was inspired by the book.
there wasn't, you know, I don't really remember exactly when the new age of sci-fi began, but I think this would definitely qualify as part of the new wave of sci-fi and
New
uh,
Wave was late 50s, early 60s. And I'd actually argue the opposite. If you look at like Weird Tales and was it Fantastic?
oh
Amazing Stories? Yeah,
there was
Fantastic.
a huge bunch of them.
Yeah, tons of
Well, yeah,
science
well, what I
fantasy
mean though
there, if you know where
is
to look.
we still have that, but now we have more.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you take the whole collective of fiction, regardless of its form, we have more now and we had less the further back you go. So when Wizards was being created, it was probably more likely inspired by things of the new wave than the classics. So obviously, some you can't get away from that. You can't get
Kinda.
away from the classics, but
Yeah,
uh,
like clearly there's a very large Tolkien element. There's tons of Howard in there.
sure.
He Avatar even mumbles out at one point, Moro Crinkle for Zeta.
Which is funny because I want to say that the wizard had like a 357 at the end, correct? Or am I thinking something else? Tanner, can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but I seem to recall one of the wizards in Wizards having a 357, and I know there's a Ral Partha miniature of a wizard holding a 357 behind his back. But I think all of that actually might have been inspired by Board of the Rings when when the character that's supposed to be Bilbo is doing the game Riddles in the Dark with Gollum, and he asks, "What have I got in my pocket?" The answer wasn't the ring; it was a 357, which he pulled out and shot Gollum, or unloaded the 357 in Gollum's direction. And I think that might have been part of the joke
Lord of the
because
Rings, yes, I do remember that, and go figure. I think that was around the same time as this, because in during the battle at Minestrone, Good Golf pulls out an ancient elven weapon that is regularly referred to nowadays as a Boeing 40. Even funnier, and there's no way they could have known this, is that the way they depict Good Golf in that fight scene, he's wearing like the 007 diving suit with the goggles, and one of the actors who was offered the role of Gandalf later was Sean Connery.
really I didn't know that. I think
Yeah,
Ian
sadly he turned
considered
it
it.
down, but yeah. On the
No,
plus
no,
side,
no,
though, we
no,
did get
not
Ian McKellen,
sadly.
so
I think it would have taken away from it had Connery accepted the role. I think Ian McKellen did the best job anybody could have done. Being that he was himself, like Christopher Lee, a Tolkien
oh,
scholar.
absolutely. But then
And
perhaps
hey, what's
Connery would
up,
not have
Grandma?
quit acting.
You are more than welcome to pop in, Grandma. I sent you the link. And speaking of which, Grandma,
I think RPG
did
is
you
here.
did you change your status in the book club because your name isn't lit up like everybody else's for some reason? Uh, and I don't know what that's if you dropped out or did something weird. You're obviously always welcome. And good news, sometime next week you will be receiving something in the mail from me. I just packaged it up this morning, and it's going to go out Saturday morning. And since we're in the same state, maybe you'll get it by Monday. I hope you like it. Um, well, I know you'll like it, but I hope you put it to good use. Just put it that way.
One other note before we finish up for the night. There is another movie that I think drew a lot from this novel. Probably guess which one I'm about to refer to.
I can't.
You can guess.
Oh, can you repeat the
Not
question?
tonight, I see. Okay.
Tanner, can you repeat the
I'm almost
question?
certain that George Lucas also read this.
Oh, okay.
Because
Um, I don't know.
by his own admission, he read a shit ton of science fiction novels like this. And here we have a young man who loses his family, gets picked up by a force of freedom fighters. He infiltrates the enemy fortress. There's a bloody battle, and finally he wins out in the end.
Maybe, but that's all part of the hero's journey, is it not? Speaking of
There's
which,
also, the way that is depicted. There's binoculars, and it's not a one for one, but I'm almost certain.
no, but that's a perfect
Yeah,
segue
it's
into
definitely one of
what I would.
those, and
That is my pick for next,
mhm.
not next week, but the week after. Is Hero's Journey, according to
Ooh.
the the Dungeon Master's Guide, Appendix N. That's what this is all about. I've seen that in there my whole life. I've never read it, and I always wondered, why is it spelled the way it is? Obviously, it's the guy's name. I figured that out, early on. But then I have to kind of assume that it has some sort of an Asian quality to it, kind of like Dai Shan from Les Bader. I don't know if you ever read those books, but they were
Kind
pretty
of.
good.
His
I
full
kind of
name is Hiro Destine, and he's a we're gonna find out later on he's a Métis, French Canadian.
hold on a second. Oh, hold on.
Sorry about all the technical issues here, audience. But yeah, what did you think of the book?
I didn't hate it.
He's
I
gone back.
honestly
Oh, forgive
I
me. I was asking the audience.
oh, okay. Yeah, if you guys
I
like
thought
it,
you'd be gone for much longer than you were.
no, 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 no. Uh, if if you guys enjoyed this book, as always, put your stories or your memories in the comment section. Let us know why you liked it, or if you didn't. Same thing. That's what it's for.
Hmm.
There was a lot about it I liked, and I wish I could have enjoyed more of it with fewer interruptions and fewer distractions, which is all on me. I would be willing to read
I
the
will.
next one, but just I
Yeah,
want to
I
give
will admit this
a
would
break.
probably work better as a film with the way that the dialogue and the scening is set up. Because honestly, even for a low budget film, you could probably do this very, very well. Like you just shoot in like Greece or Spain. You get a
Yeah, but see,
rental tank.
I was thinking about that. That would give away too much. You know what I mean? When you see the elephant, you're going to go, oh. You see the fire extinguisher, you're going to go, oh, and instantly it will all. You know what I mean? You'll just instead of making people figure it out, you'll just be blatantly telling them
Eh,
from a quarter into the book, this is what's going on. And any production company is going to want to insist that you do the traditional beginning of the movie. This is how the world went to shit. You know what I mean? And then it becomes something completely different and
really?
loses all its
Because I
charm.
thought that just smash cut to the old one getting tortured would be a good opening scene. Yeah.
Oh, certainly, certainly, but
The real
a
trick to
quarter of the
saying,
way
"Hey,
in,
this
you're
could
gonna,
be a really good movie," is that there's 60 ways it could go wrong.
if not more. Yeah, no worries. But I'm gonna wrap it up here because I got to take care of something that I didn't expect I had to take care of, and without Grandma here and everybody else, I think we've beaten this to death. Do you remember who wrote Hero's Journey?
Yes, that would be, and then I just blanked on his name. That would be Sterling Lanier, the guy
Oh, okay.
who convinced the oil manual company, he made some lovely Tolkien miniatures.
Okay. So we'll meet here in 2 weeks for that one. Grandma, if you want in, George, if you want in, the regular cast of characters, if you guys want in on this one, let me know in the Discord section for that. With that being said, I'm going to say good night, everybody. I have a short video for you guys tomorrow morning, and then I will be off for part of the weekend. I will be doing something Saturday night, not sure what yet, but you see me Saturday night. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Love you guys, and I will see you later. Tanner, say goodnight, Gracie. Take care, Grandma. I think Tanner said goodnight, but I don't think
All right, take care, everybody.
it's coming through. All right, there you go. All right, guys.